Hey guys, today we're going to be solving this problem. Which of the following is equal to 0 for every x value? Our first option being x plus 1 times x minus 1 minus x squared plus 1. Our second option being x to the power of 0 minus 1. Our third option being square root x squared minus x. Our fourth option being none of the above. And our fifth option being that there is actually more than one option. So feel free to pause this video and give this problem a go before I go over the solution with you. Alright, so hopefully you got the correct answer, and I'm going to show you the solution right now for those of you who were a bit stuck. So when I first saw this problem, the first thing that stood out to me was this option. So basically what this option is saying is square root x squared minus x. First thing I saw was that square root x squared is simply just x, right? Square root x squared is just x. The squared and the squared get canceled out. And then you have the minus x equals 0. So this seems like a possible option, right? Well, actually, no. And you will see why in a second. It is because, let me take this value down here. It is because with x squared minus x, this phenomena, x minus x equals 0, is only true when x is a positive number. What do I mean by that? Well, let's assume x is equal to 7. Well, then in this case, we get square root of 7 squared minus 7. Square root of 7 squared is 7, minus 7 equals 0. So it works when x is 7. Now let's try when x is equal to negative 7. X is equal to negative 7, so that means square root of negative 7 squared. Remember, we're squaring the x value, which is negative 7, so I also square that negative sign, minus the x value, which is negative 7. Further solving this, we get square root of 49 plus 7. Square root of 49 is 7. 7 plus 7 is 14, and that is not equal to 0. So this option C is actually only true when x is greater than or equal to 0. So that is off the list. That cannot be it, because it's saying for every value of x, including negative values, zeros, and positive values. So C is not the answer. The next thing that caught my eye was this one, option B. X to the power of 0. Well, we know anything to the power of 0 is, well, 1. And then you do 1 minus 1, which is 0. But once again, that's only true for negative and positive values, right? Because if you do, for example, negative 7 to the power of 0, that's 1. 1 minus 1, 0. You do 7 to the power of 0, that's 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. But let's say you do 0. Now, do you know what 0 to the power of 0 is? Well, it's undefined. Undefined minus 1 is still undefined. So undefined is not equal to 0. So this is only true when x is not equal to 0. The moment x is equal to 0, you're going to get an undefined value. So it cannot be the second option. All right, so now let's look at the first option. So the first option requires a little bit of simplifying. So that is what we're going to do. Let me take this to this side. So we have x plus 1 times x minus 1 minus x squared plus 1. Simplifying that, we have x squared minus 1 minus x squared plus 1. And now you see that x squared and minus x squared cancel out, minus 1 and plus 1 get cancel out, and you're left with 0. And this holds true for every single value of x, because no matter what value of x you have, all the terms will eventually get canceled out. And you can even test this by putting negative numbers, 0 and positive numbers. But either way, you will always get 0. So our final answer is A.